I missed my chance with a future superstar, until time travel fixed it. Imagine waking up one day and realizing the superstar you've been obsessing over for years used to sit next to you in high school. Yeah, that happened to me. 1 minute, I was just a regular fangirl, screaming over Jace Montgomery's concerts and memorizing every detail of his life. The next, I was face to face with his awkward, nerdy teenage self, back in 2014. Somehow, I'd traveled back in time, and suddenly, I had a chance to change everything. I could befriend him, support him, maybe even make him fall for me. But here's the thing, I wasn't the only one who remembered the future, and the more I tried to control fate, the more I realized, messing with time has a price. Will I rewrite history, or lose him forever? Stay tuned to find out. Before we continue, please like and subscribe. Chapter 1. I, Evie Carter, am a dedicated fangirl. No, scratch that, an elite fangirl? I don't just admire global heartthrob Jace Montgomery, I breathe his existence. My room? Well, let's just say it's less of a room and more of a shrine. There are posters of him everywhere. Above my bed, on the back of my door, on the ceiling. Which, I admit, makes it a bit hard to fall asleep sometimes. My dresser has a meticulously organized collection of Jace's concert tickets, magazine clippings and, wait for it, my prize signed hoodie. You know the one. That hoodie he wore in a photo shoot years ago. I mean, how could I not buy it when I saw it online? It was practically destiny? My playlists? 90% his songs, ranging from the iconic hits to his deep album cuts that only true fans know. The other 10%? Dramatic, sad instrumental music for when I daydream about him and feel like my life could be a movie montage. You know, the one where the girl stares out the window as the rain pours down, contemplating her existence, while Jace Montgomery's face appears on her phone screen in the background. My knowledge of him? Encyclopedic. I know the exact way he laughs when he's nervous. It's a little snort. I know he loves sushi, but only the California rolls with extra avocado. I know the time he tripped on stage and, like a true pro, turned it into a dance move, making it look intentional, even though we all saw him almost face plant. God, I loved him more in that moment. But you know what I didn't know? That Jace Montgomery was once my high school classmate. It all started on a regular Tuesday, with nothing special going on, other than my mom nagging me to clean the attic. You know, that time of year when the whole house is filled with dust, and the last thing you want to do is go through piles of old stuff your mom insists on keeping. But, being the obedient daughter that I am, or at least pretending to be, I made my way up to the attic. There, in a dusty corner covered in cobwebs, I found the treasure trove of forgotten yearbooks, each one representing an era of high school memories that I had buried deep within the dark corners of my soul. I mean, who really wants to remember the trauma of that one time I wore neon pink leggings to school, and thought it was fashion? I plopped down on the floor, flipping through a few random pages. The familiar faces of classmates who I hadn't thought about in years grinned back at me, some with braces, some with mullets, some who I didn't even remember. Seriously, what was up with that one guy in our history class who wore a cape every day? How did I miss that? And then, bam, there it was. The photo that stopped me in my tracks. There, right on page 47, was a picture of a gangly, scrawny-looking guy with messy hair, glasses, and an expression that screamed, "I'd rather be in my own personal library right now, thank you very much." It wasn't just any guy. It was Jace Montgomery. My jaw hit the floor. My heart stopped. The world tilted at a sharp angle, and I swear I felt my soul leave my body as I stared at the picture of the quiet, nerdy kid I had never noticed in math class, yet was apparently sitting just a few rows ahead of me for an entire year. Jason Monty, it even said his name in the caption under the photo, because apparently, he wasn't the famous Jace Montgomery yet, just an ordinary guy who was still waiting for his big break. I froze. The universe paused. Everything around me went fuzzy. Wait, what? Jason Monty? The guy who had grown up to become the man I worshipped on a daily basis. The man who made my heart skip a beat every time I watched his music videos. That guy? The one who had once been a quiet kid in my class. No way. I rubbed my eyes, blinking a few times like maybe I was just seeing things. But nope. There he was, just a regular guy, with that awkward, slightly uncomfortable expression I'd grown to love. This was real. I scrambled for my phone, trying to look up every bit of information I could on my beloved Jace. No, not Jace Montgomery, the kid who sat in the corner of my class, glued to his notebook, probably writing lyrics before he became the superstar he was today. Did we talk? Nope. Did we ever interact? Highly unlikely. Did I, at any point, Acknowledge his existence? Not a chance. Cue existential crisis. I flopped dramatically onto my bed, throwing my hands over my face. How could I have missed this? I wailed to the ceiling, as if the universe had orchestrated this moment just to break my fangirl heart. How did I not see him? Was I so wrapped up in my own awkwardness, obsessing over my high school crush, Brad, who barely knew I existed, that I didn't even notice Jace Montgomery? Why didn't I befriend him? Why didn't I just, I don't know, sit next to him in class and actually talk to him? I could practically hear the universe snickering at me. I buried my face into my pillow. If only, I whispered, my voice full of desperation. If only I could go back in time and make him notice me. The sky outside rumbled. I sat up, blinking in confusion. Did I hear that? Was that just my imagination? The rumble came again, louder this time. My eyes darted to the window as a flash of lightning streaked across the sky. Okay, that's weird. And then, boom! A sudden burst of light flooded my room, filling it with an intensity I couldn't comprehend. The entire house seemed to shake, and for a moment, I thought I was caught in a tornado of flashing lights. And then, nothing. Silence. Chapter 2. When I opened my eyes, my first thought was, wow, my pillow smells weird. Then I realized, it wasn't my pillow. I blinked. The familiar softness I had fallen asleep with was replaced by the rough, worn fabric of my old plaid-patterned backpack. The one I used to lug around in high school, filled with notebooks and half-done homework assignments I definitely didn't turn in. I shot up so fast, my head spun. Wait. Ugly beige lockers. I could smell the faint scent of cafeteria pizza, something that should be a delightful memory, but was actually tainted by the trauma of high school lunchroom politics. You know, when you sit alone and pretend the pizza slice isn't just a sad, grease-drenched lump of regret. A crumpled test paper lay on the floor beside me, covered in my teenage handwriting, the kind that was more scribble than anything legible, the kind I was too embarrassed to show anyone back then. I was in high school. Whoa. My God, I whispered, voice trembling. My heart felt like it was trying to escape my chest. I scrambled to my feet, glancing around, trying to make sense of it all. This was a nightmare, right? A bizarre, twisted dream where the universe decided I was going to relive my awkward teen years in a horror show of missed opportunities and embarrassing decisions. But no. The flip phone in my hand proved it. I looked at the cracked, beaten-down flip phone in horror. Was that really my phone? The one I had in 2014, when texting was still a complicated process involving excessive abbreviations and autocorrect disasters. I checked the date on the phone screen. 2014. I pinched myself. Nope. Still here. I slapped my own face. Still here. I stared at my surroundings again. The faded posters of local bands on the walls, the dull fluorescent lights overhead, the awkward high school uniforms. I may or may not have worn 2 sizes too large, because I had no sense of style, clearly. I opened my mouth to scream, because really, what else does one do in this situation? But then, hey, Evie, you good? That voice. That familiar, yet somehow different voice. I turned around, and there she was, Sophie. My best friend. She looked exactly how I remembered her, same messy bun, same awkward half-smile. Except, her eyeliner was well, better. She was clearly ahead of the curve in terms of makeup skills. I grabbed her by the shoulders, not even bothering to try to be calm about it. What year is it? I gasped, desperate. Sophie blinked at me like I had 2 heads. 2014? She said it like it was the most obvious thing in the world, which of course it was. For her, I felt the ground beneath me shake a little. It worked. It actually worked. I was back in 2014. I was 17 again. 17. I nearly fainted, but instead, I just stood there, my hands clutching Sophie's shoulders as though she were some kind of anchor that could keep me tethered to reality. I needed to stay grounded. Wait. I stammered, my brain still working to catch up. This is really happening, right? I didn't just knock myself out cold and dream this whole thing. Sophie narrowed her eyes, a confused smirk spreading across her face. Evie, I've seen you freak out about plenty of stuff before, but this is next level. Are you sure you're okay? You know, like, mentally? I did not have time for Sophie's usual level of sass. I shook her a little. Sophie, do you know who I have a chance to meet now? Her eyebrows furrowed. Yeah. The same people we've known since freshman year? The ones you used to, no. I cut her off, my voice escalating to an almost squeaky level. I'm talking about Jace Montgomery. I'm talking about Jason Monty. The guy who is going to be a famous superstar in the future. He's the one who, we've never interacted before, but now I have the chance to make him notice me. Do you realize how insane this is? Sophie blinked at me for a moment, then glanced over her shoulder, as if checking for someone who might have overheard. Then she leaned in and whispered, "Wait. Are you telling me? You're saying you've been obsessed with Jace Montgomery for years, and now you've gone back in time to, fix everything?" I nodded vigorously. Exactly. I'm going to make him notice me, Sophie. I'm going to be his #1 fan. Except way before he became the world's biggest superstar. This is my moment. Sophie, ever the realist, blinked again, still processing. So what? You're going to go up to him, throw your arms around him, and say, "Hey, remember that one time you were a nerd and I didn't notice you?" Well, surprise. I'm here to fix that. I stared at her, horrified. No, yes, but in a more subtle way. I'm going to make him realize he was destined for greatness before the world even knew it. I'm going to push him to take risks, to sing more, to follow his dreams. I can be the one who helps him get started. Sophie still looked unconvinced, but I could see the spark of amusement in her eyes. Well, good luck, Evie. You're going to need it. I grinned, a little bit of fire igniting inside me. Trust me, I've got this. This was it, my once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I had the chance to change everything, to rewrite the past, and to finally make Jason Monty, the shy, awkward kid sitting in the back of class, notice me. Mission: make Jason Monty notice me. Starts now. And so, as I walked toward the hallway, feeling the weight of destiny, and some serious caffeine withdrawal from the lack of my usual morning coffee, I couldn't help but feel a surge of excitement. This was it, the start of something totally unexpected. What could possibly go wrong? Chapter 3. I had a plan. A foolproof, well thought out, probably should have actually thought about it more plan. Befriend Jason. Encourage his musical dreams. Subtly push him towards stardom. All while totally keeping my cool, and not acting like a crazy fangirl. Step 1. Approach Jason Monty, without scaring him away. I was ready. I had picked the perfect moment, right after school in the library, when he was alone, scribbling in his notebook like a tortured artist, because clearly that's what all future rock stars do. He didn't look up when I approached. He just sat there, headphones in, head bobbing to whatever song was in his ears. Was he writing his future chart-topping lyrics? Probably. Did he have no idea how important this moment was for both of our futures? Also probably. I took a deep breath and slid into the seat across from him. Hey, Jason. I tried to sound casual, cool, like I didn't have a complete meltdown inside. He looked up from his notebook, his brows furrowing as if he were trying to piece together a puzzle. Do I know you? My stomach did a backflip. Oh no. No. This is not how this is supposed to go. I smiled. It felt like I was forcing it through my teeth. Yeah, we're in the same class. He studied me for a second longer, then blinked like something in his mind just clicked. Except I wasn't prepared for what happened next. I had a dream about you. Pause. What? My breath hitched in my throat. A dream? I repeated like an idiot, because, apparently, the person whose dreams I had stalked, and whose concerts I had cried through wasn't as much of a stranger as I thought he was. Yeah, Jason said, tilting his head. In that dream, I was famous. My mind exploded in a cocktail of pure panic and awe. He remembered his future. The stars had aligned, or at least, they'd caused a cosmic freakout, because it wasn't just me time traveling. Jason Monty, the shy kid from my high school, had somehow tapped into future knowledge too. I was about to pass out, or maybe I was just embarrassed. Either way, I was definitely fading out of reality for a second. So, I said, trying to sound normal, despite feeling like I was drowning in my own existence. You had a dream where you were famous. Jason shrugged nonchalantly. Yeah. Weird, right? Weird doesn't even begin to cover it, I thought. But all I could manage to squeak out was that's really strange, yeah. He gave me a quirky smile, like he knew something I didn't. And that smile? Whoa God. That smile was not the nervous, I've never talked to a girl before smile I was used to from high school Jason. This was confident. This was playful. This was a smirk that said, I know something you don't, and you'll never guess it. I quickly scrambled for something to say that didn't make me sound like a complete weirdo. But, before I could form another word, he dropped the bombshell. So, what's your deal? Why are you so invested in me? He cocked his head, tapping his pen against his notebook. Are you, my biggest fan or something? Whoa, he had no idea. Cool. Evie. Stay cool. I tried to laugh it off, but it came out more like a choked squeak. Supportive classmate? Like I said, I'm just, cheering for you. You know, getting people to enter the talent show, helping with your. Jason raised an eyebrow, his smirk growing wider. Are a stalker? I froze. Excuse me? I spluttered. His grin was practically evil at this point, like he was enjoying every second of my utter chaos. I mean, no judgment. Just wondering. You've been weirdly invested in my success. And not just like, oh, good luck, Jason, but full on, I believe in you, Jason, he said, imitating my voice in a high-pitched mockery that made my face turn beet red. Oh no, I wanted to die. I really did. This was not how I thought our first conversation was going to go. I hadn't planned for him to call me out like a professional interrogator. My heart was in my throat. I could barely breathe. And then he flashed that smile again. That damn smile that made me wish I could disappear into the nearest locker. You don't have to act so awkward, you know, he said, winking. It's cute. I almost choked on my own saliva. No, I snapped. I what? No. Why did I keep shouting? Why was I so awkward? I should be calm, collected. The person who has time traveled back to make him great. Not the mess who gets caught in a whirlwind of mutual awkwardness and unplanned flirting. But here I was, trying to play it cool. Failing. Epically. The rumors started swirling pretty fast after that. We were dating. It was out there. I hadn't even done anything. Just helped him get a song ready for the talent show. And somehow poof, the school's gossip mill had turned us into a couple. Jason, who had been shy, reserved Jason Monty in my past life, was suddenly flirty. Playful. The guy who made me feel like a giddy mess. Hey, Evie, he called out to me one day after school. He was leaning casually against the lockers, his arms crossed, looking like he'd just walked off the set of some teen drama. You coming to the talent show tonight? I nodded, trying my best not to swoon as he tossed his hair back. He didn't even have to do that to be attractive. Of course. You're going to crush it? He smirked again. You sure you're not just coming to watch your boyfriend perform? I could have sworn the world tilted. Boyfriend? I choked. He just winked. I was done for, but that wasn't the worst part. As I spent more time with Jason, trying to keep my focus on his career, on his future, I started noticing something strange. The memories. The details. The future I had once known faded. Songs I'd known by heart vanished. Interviews? Gone. The more I interfered with the past, the more the future started slipping through my fingers. And that wasn't all. As I helped Jason prepare for the talent show, my only mission, it started becoming clear that I wasn't the only one meddling with fate. Because, just when I thought things couldn't get more complicated, a new student arrived. A ridiculously attractive, smug-looking guy. And really smug. He had this knowing look in his eyes that made my skin crawl. And the worst part, he knew way too much about Jason. Way too much, and I didn't like it. At all. This was going to get messy. Chapter 4. The moment I saw Noah Sterling, I knew something was off. First of all, no one walks into high school that confidently. High school is a jungle, and normal people hesitate, at least a little before stepping into the chaos. But not him. Oh no. Noah Sterling strolled through the hallways like he had already seen every test answer, every drama-filled lunch fight, and every cringy school dance before they even happened. Then, there was the way he immediately attached himself to Jason. Like a magnet, like a super suspicious, way too perfect, knows way too much magnet. It was like he had memorized Jason's path to success before Jason himself even knew he had won. By third period, I was practically vibrating with frustration. By fourth period, I was convinced Noah was not normal. So naturally, I confronted him after class. Because why be subtle when you can be dramatic? I grabbed him by the arm and dragged him into an empty hallway. Okay, spill, I hissed, crossing my arms. Noah looked at me, completely unfazed. Excuse me? I know what you are. His smirk was slow, lazy, infuriating. And what's that? I leaned in, lowering my voice. A time traveler. There was a pause. Then, he chuckled, like I had just told the world's funniest joke. Clever girl, he murmured. I swear if this hallway had a single loose brick, I would have thrown it at him. So you admit it, I said through gritted teeth. He leaned against the lockers, watching me with way too much amusement. I never denied it. Whoa. Oh, this was worse than I thought. I had come into this thinking I was the time traveler. The one on a noble mission. The only person sent here to guide Jason toward his inevitable fame. But now, there was another player in the game. And something told me I wasn't going to like what he was planning. Chapter 5. Noah Sterling was, without a doubt, the most annoying person I had ever met. His arrogance? Off the charts. His smirks? Unbearable. His ability to always be exactly where I didn't want him to be? A talent truly. And his new favorite hobby? Messing with me. If I was trying to guide Jason toward success, Noah was speedrunning it. He didn't just nudge Jason toward fame. He shoved him into it, head first. And the worst part, Jason listened to him. Jason, Noah would say casually, flipping a pen between his fingers like some villain in a teen drama, you should really start working on an album. You're going to need it when you hit the big leagues. And Jason, sweet, oblivious Jason, would nod like he had just been handed the secret to life itself. Meanwhile, I was about to explode. I had one job. Help Jason. Encourage him. Push him gently toward his path. Not let some smug time-traveling interloper swoop in and take over. So naturally, I confronted him again. Because if I had to deal with one more smug smirk, I was going to lose my mind. I found him leaning against the lockers like he was waiting for me. Of course. Time travelers. Always so mysterious. What exactly do you think you're doing? I snapped, stepping closer. Noah raised an eyebrow. Good afternoon to you too, Evie. Don't good afternoon me. I shot back. You can't just barge in and try to take over Jason's life. His smirk widened. Whoa. You're talking about him, aren't you? Not the whole fame thing. He tilted his head, studying me. Cute. You really like him, don't you? My brain short-circuited. Excuse me? I choked. Noah just leaned in, his voice dropping slightly. Come on, Evie. You're not just here for Jason's career, are you? I felt my face heat up. That's none of your business. Actually, he said, grinning. It is? I stared at him. How? He shrugged. Because you're here to change the future. Just like me. I opened my mouth to argue. But then, wait. Just like him? You mean, you're not just here to help Jason? I said slowly, realization dawning. Noah's smirk grew dangerously smug. Whoa, Evie. He tisked. I'm not here to help Jason. My stomach dropped. I'm here to make sure he becomes famous faster than you can blink. Faster? Whoa. Oh, I had spent all this time assuming Noah was on the same mission as me. That he had come here to ensure Jason became the artist he was meant to be. But Noah was here to push him harder. Faster? Noah didn't care about Jason as a person. He cared about Jason the superstar. My fists clenched. You can't do that. He gave me an infuriatingly innocent look. Why not? Isn't that what you're here for? To make sure he makes it? No. My voice was firm. I'm here to make sure he gets there the right way. I don't want him to lose himself. Noah studied me for a second. Then, to my utter frustration, he laughed. Whoa, Evie, he said, shaking his head. You really think you can protect him from this? I swallowed hard, trying to keep my expression neutral. If I have to. His smirk softened just slightly, like he found me amusing. Which was even worse. Well, he said, pushing off the lockers. Good luck with that. And then, just like that, he walked away. I should have felt victorious. I should have felt like I had won that argument. But I didn't. Because deep down, I knew the truth. Noah wasn't wrong. The more I fought him, the more I interfered, the more Jason was changing. And it wasn't just his memory shifting anymore. It was mine too. I was forgetting things. Small things, at first. But then, bigger details. Lyrics I once knew by heart. Moments I had watched in interviews. Little pieces of the future were slipping through my fingers, fading into nothing. And I couldn't help but wonder if I kept interfering, kept pushing back against Noah, would I wake up one day and find that Jace Montgomery, the one I knew, the one I adored, had never existed at all. Chapter 6. Something was wrong. Really wrong. I woke up feeling off. Like I had misplaced something important. But I couldn't remember what. At first, I brushed it off as stress. You know, just your casual existential crisis about rewriting the future. But then, I reached for my phone, like I did every morning, and pulled up my music app. I scrolled. And scrolled. And then, my blood ran cold. Jason's song, the one that had been stuck in my head for years, was gone. Not deleted. Not moved. Gone. Like it had never existed. Panic clawed up my throat as I tried to remember the lyrics. They had been seared into my brain. I had cried to that song, laughed to that song, lived in that song. And now, blank. I scrambled to my computer, my hands shaking as I searched his discography. Nothing. I had spent my whole life knowing everything about Jace Montgomery's music, and now, I barely remembered anything at all. I shot up from my chair, my heart slamming against my ribs. This is bad. This is really, really bad. If I kept changing things, what else would I lose? And then, just when I thought my morning couldn't get any worse, I heard Noah's voice in the hallway. If we change things too much, he was saying, his voice low and calm, he may never become famous at all. My breath caught. What? I pressed myself against the door, my pulse thundering. Are you sure? Someone else whispered. I couldn't tell who. Noah exhaled sharply. We're rewriting his story. Every little choice, every push in the wrong direction, it all has consequences. My stomach plummeted. I had been so obsessed with getting Jason to notice me, to make sure he still became the star I knew, that I never stopped to consider the cost. The more I tried to control his future, the more I was unraveling it. And not just his future, mine too. What if I was erasing everything? What if I was making it so that he never became Jace Montgomery at all? What if I lost him completely? I sucked in a shaky breath. I had a choice to make. Did I keep messing with fate? Or did I take a step back and risk losing him forever? Chapter 7. It all came down to one moment. The school talent show. I knew it as soon as I saw the stage. The blinding lights. The crowd buzzing with anticipation. This was it. The crossroads. The night where Jason's fate would either skyrocket or crash and burn. Noah had been relentless, pushing Jason to perform, to get noticed, to fast-track his rise to fame. And I couldn't let that happen, because the truth was, I didn't just want Jason to become famous. I wanted him to be happy. I wanted him to find his voice his way, not because he was being pressured into it, not because of Noah's agenda, not even because of me. So, I did what I had to do. I helped him, but on his terms. I didn't tell him to be a star. I didn't shove him toward the future I had memorized. I let him choose. I spent the whole week building him up, reminding him that his talent was his own, that he didn't have to be anyone but himself. Noah hated it. This isn't how it's supposed to go, he hissed at me backstage. Maybe it isn't, I shot back. But maybe that's the point. Noah just gave me a long, unreadable look. Then, without another word, he walked away. And then, it was time. Jason stepped onto the stage. The lights hit him. The crowd went silent. And for a split second, he looked at me. Not at Noah. At me. Then he started to play. And it was perfect. Not flashy. Not forced. Just him. Jason Monty. Not Jace Montgomery, global superstar. Not some future legend. Just a boy with a guitar and a dream. And as I watched him sing, my heart nearly cracked in two. Because this was it. The moment that would decide everything. The crowd erupted into cheers. Jason blinked in shock, like he hadn't expected them to love him. But I knew. I had always known. And then, before he walked off the stage, he turned to me. His eyes met mine, softer than I'd ever seen them. I don't know why, he said, voice thick with emotion, but I feel like I don't want to lose you. I forgot how to breathe. This was it, the moment I had wanted for so long. He saw me. Not as a fangirl. Not as a distant memory. As me. I swallowed back the lump in my throat. I had made my choice. I wouldn't force his future. I wouldn't mess with fate. I would let him go. I forced a smile, even as my heart cracked. You won't, I whispered. Even if I faded from his story. Even if this was the last moment we had. Even if he never remembered me in the future. Because the truth was, I would always remember him. Chapter 8. The cheers still echoed in my ears. Jason stood on stage, his guitar strap slung over his shoulder. His expression somewhere between overwhelmed and exhilarated. It had happened. He had done it. This was the moment, the exact moment, that would set him on the path to superstardom. I should have been happy. I was happy. But then, I felt it. A strange, pulling sensation. Like invisible hands were gripping me, dragging me backward. My stomach flipped. My fingers tingled. The world around me blurred. No. No, 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 not yet. Wait. I gasped. No. I'm not ready. Jason turned toward me. His forehead creased in confusion. Evie? I tried to step forward, to reach for him. But my hand passed right through his arm. Whoa. Oh crap. I was fading. My breath caught. Jason, I whispered, my voice barely audible. See you in the future? And then, flash. Everything went white. Chapter 9. I woke up gasping. My heart slammed against my ribs. My fingers clutched at my blankets. I was home. My room looked exactly the same. Posters of Jace Montgomery, Jason, my Jason, still covered my walls. My familiar, overstuffed bookshelves stood in the same place. My phone, charging beside my bed, buzzed loudly. But something felt off. I sat up, my breath shaky. Was it all a dream? No. It couldn't have been. I scrambled for my phone. The date, it was the same as the day I left. No time had passed. I swallowed hard and grabbed the remote, turning on the TV with shaking hands. The morning show flickered to life. And right there, front and center, sitting on a sleek couch in an expensive suit, Jason Montgomery. I almost dropped the remote. He looked the same, but different, more polished, more confident. He leaned back, flashing his signature smile at the interviewer. And tell us, Jason, the interviewer was saying, your songs have so much emotion in them. Is there someone special who inspired you? I held my breath. Jason tilted his head slightly, like he was considering something. Then, there was this one girl, he said, his voice softer than usual. His fingers tapped against his knee absent-mindedly. But I don't know if she was real. Oh, my God. My entire body turned to ice. He remembered me. He remembered me. I scrambled for my phone, my heart thudding so hard I was surprised it didn't burst out of my chest. And then, ding, a new message. From Jason. My vision blurred. My fingers shook as I clicked it open. Jason. I feel like I've known you forever. Want to meet up? I screamed. Then I fainted. Then I revived myself in record time. What the heck just happened? This wasn't how things were supposed to go. He wasn't supposed to remember. But he did. Somehow, he did. Was this fate? A glitch in time? Or was this just the beginning of a brand new timeline? Either way, I couldn't wait to find out. If you could time travel and change one moment in a celebrity's life, who would it be and what would you change? Drop your wildest what-if scenarios in the comments.